Hello and welcome. We're back with another episode of KBTalks, powered by the NKBA, the only podcast dedicated to growing and supporting the kitchen and bath industry.
I'm so excited because today we're taking our podcast global. This year, the NKBA officially launched Global Connect, which is an ongoing international initiative to connect kitchen and bath design industry professionals around the world.
Of course, the accents are going to be amazing, but the knowledge these people are going to bring is going to be even better. Don't you think, Elle?
Obviously, yes. And we were in London last year, and this year we've brought in some guests from London to share some of their adventures and stories with the U.S. market as well.
See, Elle makes it sound so serious, but we're going to have some laughs because that's what English people like to do. So I can't wait to dive in, share more about this with our listeners. Before we get going, let's hear a quick word from this episode's sponsor.
Monogram is more than luxury appliances. Monogram is the experience. We are inspired by life and the way you live. With high style, superior craftsmanship, and award-winning technology, our products raise the bar on what's possible in your kitchen designs. Our industry-leading induction cooktops, connected ovens, custom panel refrigerators, Advantium speed cooking ovens, and premium dishwashers blend seamlessly into your dream kitchen projects. Whether for yourself or your clients, Monogram helps you push the boundaries of gourmet style and create a kitchen fit for a chef. Oh, and if you're listening to this before KBIS, the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, we hope to see you at our Monogram booth, C5819. As you may have heard, Monogram Appliances is the official partner of the new season of Bravo's Top Chef. Tune in to new episodes every Thursday, only on Bravo. Additionally, this year we'll have former Bravo Top Chef Season 3 contestant, Chef Brian Malarkey, owner of Urban Wood, located in the heart of San Diego, California, in our booth, creating some wonderful Kentucky bourbon-inspired dishes utilizing the same luxury appliances seen on this season of Top Chef. 2019 will be a big year for Monogram, and we are excited to share our story with our designer and builder friends. In our 3,600 square foot booth, we will have 4 luxury kitchens, a twist on a traditional butler's pantry, and a new bespoke display showcasing the future of appliance customization and design. Thanks for listening, and please visit monogram.com to see the latest in hand-assembled precision and beauty.
All right, we're back and ready to welcome our special guest, starting with Veronika Miller, CEO of Modenus Media, who has had such a major role in spearheading the global conversation as a whole, representing NKBA. And representing from across the pond, we have Mary Middleton, a designer and freelance journalist with an aptitude for trade show reporting. You can find her work on her blog titled Hello P Green, which is really cool blog, along with some amazing design and travel inspiration.
And as if that's not enough, also joining us is Robert Walsh, CEO and founder of Ted Todd Floors, and of course, Jenny Borthwick, did I say it right? Head of marketing. Ted Todd Floors is an establishment that is constantly pushing the boundaries of what a wood floor can be, producing floors that are unrivaled in quality, originality, and creative flair.
Thanks so much for having us. This is Veronika Miller. I'm super excited to be here and talk to you guys about all things global.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get stuck right into this. This is Mary Middleton.
Thank you for having me. Robert Walsh here from Ted Todd. Really excited about being involved in this today.
Jenny Borthwick from Ted Todd, and it's really exciting that the conversation that started so long ago is finally got us to this point. So really excited to talk about it today.
I'm so excited. We have such a good group here. So Veronika, let's kick this off with, what is the Global Connect program and how did it come about?
Hi, well, it's come about a long time ago, actually, and Jenny just mentioned that. We've been talking about it for a really long time. we soft launched the Global Connect program, or sort of an initial version of it, in 2017 in London, just trying to go over and listen to what British manufacturers would want to know about the North American market, what their challenges and fears are. It was really just, we went over to just have conversations, and we did, and we had lots of them. So much so that for this past year, 2018, we decided to do it again. And we brought a group of US media and the NKBA exec team to Milan to kind of sit and chat with some of the important brands over there. And then we brought it back to London because we were so warmly received in 2017. We were just back again in September, had an amazing dinner with just an incredible group of influencers and media, cool meetup event, which is sort of what everything that we're doing with Global Connect is anchored around, giving local brands the ability to present who they are, and also helping NKBA get a platform to speak to local industry constituents, whether that's brands or media, to talk a little bit about what the North American market is looking like. Generally, the whole purpose for the program really was, or the vision, is to establish NKBA as a connector internationally for the K&B industry. And that is a very omnidirectional thing. NKBA is positioned as the platform where we can all have a dialogue, where we can help brands do better in North America, where we might make the North American market more appealing to European buyers and media. But there might even be a conversation about giving US brands more visibility in Europe, working with associations around the world. It is collaborative, it's about communication, and NKBA kind of leads that charge. Doesn't that sound impressive? So it's a year-round program, I should add. And what's really important about that is that NKBA has committed to saying, look, there's a lot of people that know us, and there's a lot of people that don't yet know us. And we understand that we need to invest in building a relationship and connecting with a bunch of folks around the world and telling them a little bit about what we're doing. So we have a year-round program in place in which we have liaisons in a number of countries, in the UK, in the Scandinavian countries, in Germany, Italy, France, even in the UAE. And it's really important that we have these people on the ground who best know their local industry, who can report back to NKBA, its memberships, and beyond, our North American KB community, and let people know about what's happening. We then follow that up. And having established some of these new relationships and friendships, we follow that up with events in a number of strategic locations around the world.
And that's new friends like the amazing Mary Middleton, whose work I just love. I could look at your photographs all day long, Mary Middleton.
Oh, Jennifer, you're being far too kind to me. I remember when we first met back in 2017, when you joined the London NKBA group who came over to start meeting with the Global Connect sort of brands in London. And it was such an exciting time because I think the British market was and still is a little bit, in a slightly confused place where the assumption was that the US is going to be such a tough market to break into. Is it right for us now? And it was such a pinnacle point to start having those conversations, which all started around that time in 2017. And then obviously it was a complete switch up by the time we reached this year's event back in September, where the NKBA brought and Modenus brought this fantastic group of media over to London, and brands like Ted Todd and got an opportunity to speak directly to editors and market editors and share firsthand what their brands and their products were all about. And that's the really remarkable thing, I think, about this initiative. It's about getting people connected and talking.
I know, it's so empowering that we just all went silent.
Awesome.
Which
So
is rare.
Mary,
But-
I know.
Yeah.
Mary,
You take it, Elle. You've got exciting stuff to talk about.
Mary, I know that your activity has been so important for the NKBA in what you not only bring from the side from your design perspective, but also when you come to KBIS and sharing your knowledge, that the information that you get from KBIS taking back to the British market, and then for our manufacturers to be able to see what it is that the global market is really looking for. So you have that voice that really helps connect the KBIS audience and gets our designers really excited as well, because it's obvious that the European trends lead the US market a little bit. So having your opinion and your voice is really, really helpful in just moving the association forward.
It's a really fascinating kind of to sit on both sides of the fence. And I have to say, I was absolutely blown away by coming to KBIS back in January of this year at the sheer volume of kitchen and bath suppliers and manufacturers, and also the sort of the associated elements that you would have if you're putting together those spaces. But it's interesting because here in Europe, we do have kitchen and bathroom shows, but they're not on the scale at all that you would have. And if you're a designer, you have to do an awful lot of digging to get to your base, to find out who are going to be the suppliers and manufacturers that you want to work with, that represent your stylistic approach if you're a designer. And I think it works both ways. I think there is fantastic products that I saw at KBIS that I was thinking, we don't have that over here in the UK, or if it is, I haven't come across it very readily and easily. And I do a lot of trade shows. My sort of going to trade shows is parcel of what I do and write about as a journalist, and seeing that there was those products that I was thinking, I can really see that fitting in for the Europeans, but equally us having those brands that when I was talking to people at KBIS and with other designers who were on the sort of panel that I joined in, who were really keen to understand what was different. And I think that's the difference, isn't it? Is that both sides of the sort of the pond, for want of a better description, North America and here in Europe, we both see that we have got exciting things to offer, but the conversation starters can be sometimes difficult because you don't know where to start, you don't know who to reach out to, you don't even know maybe whether it's possible to ship to your own geography, whether that's into the US or back to London if that's where you're looking for. And that's one of the wonderful things about going to a show like KBIS. And also this initiative around this Global Connect program is actually helping people as a designer, as a manufacturer, that it works for the whole community, that you can actually get stuck in and you can find something really new, unique, that'll bring something really different to your design once it's, left the drawing board and actually being installed in someone's property, whether that be a commercial or residential project.
I mean, one thing I found at KBIS that was quite different to what you find in the UK and even Europe was a far greater depth of product on the companies that were there, so that you weren't just seeing a very small selection of what a particular brand produces. The investment and the scale of the show meant that a lot of the companies there were showing lots and lots of products within their collections. And that's a great help, because normally when you go to a show in Europe, you're only seeing a very small selection of what people can actually do. And I think with the KBIS show, what you found was probably because people maybe only see that particular brand periodically, and also because of the size of the show, you had a lot more choice and depth of product on each individual company's stands. And I think that made it even more attractive from the perspective of being an architect, a designer, or a home builder, because you could actually see all the things that somebody was able to do.
And Robert,
that's a big benefit to doing to that, because like I say, normally you just see a small selection and then you leave the show and probably don't see much more of it again. And lots of the companies there were showing a great depth of what they're capable of doing. And I think that's quite different to what you'd normally see in an equivalent show in Europe.
Well, Robert, I was going to say, I haven't seen any companies like yours that tell the stories through flooring like yours do, which, can you tell our listeners a story or two about what they can get excited that you guys are going to unveil?
Yeah, I mean, if we put it within the context of the show in North America, when I was there, one thing I felt quite strongly was firstly that the trends in America were probably in line with where they are in Europe. In the days where the American trends are significantly behind, just isn't the case anymore. One thing I really felt there was there was a very big push on a modern aesthetic, on a contemporary aesthetic, and one area definitely certainly in the UK and England, where I think we're a little bit ahead, if not adrift from the American trend, is this combination of a very contemporary aesthetic with other products which are either antique or aged as a combination, as a backdrop. And I think that our decision to launch our Rare Finds collections in America will really show to people how they can use a modern kitchen aesthetic with a very antique looking floor and create an absolutely outstanding overall look for an interior. And we've just done a photo shoot with Minotti Cuisine, and where we've actually shown all of our floors with their very brutalist marble kitchens, which demonstrates how great those floors look. And the particular collection that we're going to launch in America is called Rare Finds. And this is a very specialist collection of timber flooring that we've created from a variety of different very rare and historic buildings across the UK, salvaging the floors when they're being either restored or refurbished, or sometimes unfortunately demolished. And these are invariably the most prized old growth forest materials from the 19th century that were imported into the UK from the colonies. And at the time, as I say, they were the best timbers that are grown for millennia, sometimes certainly up to 1,000 years sometimes. And they've been quietly seasoning in some really beautiful buildings across the United Kingdom. And we really feel that in terms of bringing something different to North America, this would really add something to the NKBA, and that it would be something that would be really well received. Some of the floors have got remarkable stories. I mean, one floor we're bringing came from Churchill's War Office in Whitehall, which is probably one of the most historic and important buildings in the centre of London. It's just across the road from number 10 Downing Street, where the Prime Minister continues to run the country from. And the timbers that we've reclaimed out of there, the floors, originally came out of North America. They were an exceptional quality. We've very, very carefully restored them. We then engineered them to make them suitable for modern interior heating and climate. And these are some of the most stunning and beautiful wooden floors that you can find in the world today. And we really feel that by launching these floors in Las Vegas in February 2019, that will bring something really unique to the show. And I think that the word Global Connect is really, really important, because the reason why we're there is because your team made a great effort to connect with us when you were in London in 2017. You know, the enthusiasm with which you received us was very, very unusual and fantastically friendly. And that's why I ended up making the effort to visit Orlando in 2018 to have a look at your show and to really get a feel for what it was all about. And from being there, I left with a great enthusiasm and a strong will to try and put it all together to be able to join you in Vegas next year. And
I think it's great to see the product that you all have and the depth of not only your products, but the stories that go behind it, and really allow the beauty of the history and the product to really shine. That is something that this market highly desires, and is really exciting to have you at the show. Bringing this global connectivity together with the European background and the US and the Canadian backgrounds, as well as some other markets as well, we're just able to infuse an entire global feeling, which is where we're heading. Everyone seems to be in this this field right now where the conversation is global. So it allows for this to happen very naturally. Mary, do you have anything that you're looking forward to for KBIS as far as what you're seeing for your market?
I think one of the, a little bit like we've just been hearing, being able to stand and see and talk to somebody about not just their latest collection and the 3 new things that they're launching right this minute, but also talking about where the product came from, the depth of product range that's on offer. That's one of the wonderful things. I mean, you do need comfy shoes to go to KBIS. I'm sure everyone here on this podcast knows this, but it's quite surprising how many sheer miles you're going to cover walking up and down and seeing all these products, because I'm convinced there are stands there that are like, you know, clearly the size of a sort of a city block in sheer volume of what they're showing. But what's wonderful about the show, and I think, is the theatre it brings as well. So it's not just about here's a range of doorknobs, and yes, you're going to see that. In fact, there's going to be so many doorknobs, your head's going to be spinning. But what I like as well is the fact that there is people knowledgeably telling you about what's going to work with what, not from an aesthetic point of view, but from a functional, practical point of view. As a designer, that's really important, because sometimes we don't know about the latest finishes and it's our job to be educated. And that's one of the wonderful things. There is so much education that goes on at the KBIS show, from workshops and talking to people on stands, but also the fact that it's all about those connections. And you know, I had a really wonderful conversation with one of the designers about holistic design at KBIS back in January, because it's not something that's really taken off here in the UK, but it is slowly growing, and it's something that seemed to be the number one trend in terms of talking points at KBIS. And for me, that was a really interesting message to take back and kind of push the buttons of my community here, both from a design point of view and also from a journalistic point of view about writing about it. Yes, people talk about spa bathrooms, but actually about taking it further, about it being about your well-being. And that's something I felt that the North American market were leading the way on, and that we're actually behind on. Whereas aesthetically, there seemed to be a lot more interest about what was happening in London, in Paris, in Milan when I was talking to designers. But actually, from a well-being of an individual and the homes that they live in, I was really fascinated by the conversations that I had on the panel. And somebody who particularly sort of picked up on that was, you know, we had 2 designers on from the London sort of contingent who came over to see KBIS. There was Heather, who has a fantastic international project going on at the moment. She was actually doing some sourcing while she was at KBIS, and her project's based in Russia, and so she can source from anywhere in the world really nowadays. And that was wonderful, by her being able to go to a show like KBIS and see those brands and see that's going to work in that market. And then we had Phoebe Eldry from Smart Style, who got very excited about Thompson Traders, because we don't have basins like that. Whilst we've got some fantastic basins, she'd never seen anything like that, and being able to take back that idea and how she could use it in London. And for her client group, I think those kind of two-way conversations are so important about when we get together, and these liaisons when we get together and have design summits and meetings, but also at trade shows. It's, yes, we want orders to be written there and then, but I think there's a lot about some of these ideas and some of these products. You may not have something right that second, a bit like having a wonderful rare finds floor from Ted Todd's. You want to know that you can put that in your back pocket, and then when the right project comes along, that you've got the connection, you know exactly who you want to reach out to, and that they're the people that, you know, yes, they'll immediately make my shortlist because that's what I'm looking for. But I think that there was a lot of those individual conversations are so important, but then equally those wider conversations that happened, like in the stages where you were hearing from all kinds of interesting people about what's happening in design, pitfalls of design, where we're going to head going forward, but also from a CPD point of view, continued professional development, so that, as a designer, I'm incredibly knowledgeable, but also as a journalist, that I can walk away and write with some knowledge rather than it just being from a press release. And that's such an important opportunity that I think KBIS brings.
Good job, Mary Middleton. You hit the nail on the head, girl. So Veronika, is there anything we haven't discussed about other stuff concerning the Global Connect program?
Yeah, there's quite a few things, and especially I also want to look forward at what we're doing in 2019. But one thing I want to tap into, both Robert and Mary have mentioned the word conversation over and over again, and it's really important for me to kind of point that out again, because Global Connect is not a NKBA traveling around the world telling people what to do or how to do it. It is a conversation, and that's why we love having liaisons in place. There's a sensibility for each and every culture in each country, and it's very different for the UK and over to Germany and to France or Italy or Spain. Everyone has their own pride in how they work and in how they do things. There's no one size fits all. So it really is, especially as we go through the program over the next 12 months, it's about exploring those cultures and those sensibilities and really learning from them and figuring out how to connect the dots. So I'm sitting here playing like a game of Tetris and thinking about, how can this best benefit you, and in which way does it work for the UK, and in which different way might it work, for instance, for Germany? That's my people, where I'm from, and the conversations are very, very different, and we look forward to having those as well. So the Global Connect program is comprised of the year-round editorial outreach. There will be a lot of coverage of international brands on the NKBA blog, as well as social media platforms. And then there's a lot more to talk about. But the second step in the program is for us to go to these different countries. So in Cologne, in January, we'll be in Germany and Cologne for Living Kitchen. We'll also do a factory tour on the A30, which is their kitchen mile area. So we'll meet some brands there. Then in April, we're going to be back in Milan, not for Eurocucina this time, but to do a lot of factory tours and to connect with kitchen and bath brands there. And then we'll be back with a bigger, I believe, a full day program in London in October, concurrent with Decorex, so that we're not competing with what's going on at London Design Festival, and really bring the industry together for that. And then in between, there's a lot of this ongoing conversation that's so important. We're working with a lot of trade associations. We're keen to hear what particularly the British trade associations are thinking about as we near doomsday next March. Hopefully that won't be nearly as bad as we all think. In fact, I think it also will open some new opportunities. And some of the things I've heard about Brexit is actually that while England can't make a deal yet, it's certainly having conversations. And we're part of that conversation. And I think it's a good place to be. So, so there's so much. So really, we have the live events, we have the outreach, and then we're also bringing a big Global Connect program back to KBIS in February as well. So we will have our liaisons scouring the show floor, reporting back to their audiences at home. We will have a couple of social events that anyone that is international brands, media, designers who are at the show are welcome to attend that, to network, to meet distributors. So we've got a lot of that good stuff going on. And want to continue the conversation. And, beyond 2019, we'll have to wait and see, because every single meeting we take and conversation we have opens up new doors, and government collaborations, association collaborations. It's the sky's the limit, and I think it's just the right thing to do.
We are really excited. I mean, it's great that you're saying that, Veronika. You know, the fact that we're at KBIS in February started with it. It started with a conversation in 2017, and you know, we've been really grateful for all of the media opportunities that are being offered to us, as well as taking our product, our lovely floors along. And we want to have as many conversations as we can with designers, and just looking today even at the scope that of some of the visitors who have already registered, and the conversations that we're likely to have is really, really exciting for us. And as well as the media opportunities on social media, and it's all very, it's going to be very visual, but it's also going to be very personal, and that's something we're really, really looking forward to.
So Veronika, I think we were talking about how amazing this is and getting all of these countries involved. How can the overseas brands get involved in this Global Connect program? Is it a simple process? Is it something to connect through you? How does this work?
It's a very simple process. It's start a conversation. Tell us what you need. We see ourselves, our company, in leading this charge for NKBA as a bit of a front door and a concierge for NKBA and KBIS. So when brands have questions about what's my next step, can I come visit KBIS? Yes, you can. And as a matter of fact, we have a fantastic program in place that gives international visiting brands an opportunity to come to a number of NKBA events. They'll have tickets to all of those, the opening night, the bash, everything that you guys are doing there. A visiting brand that comes to explore the show is welcome to attend that. And we do have some VIP attendees in terms of the trade associations. So we want to invite trade associations from Europe, from the UK, to come over and be part of a VIP tour and really learn about the depth of offering in terms of programming, education, and of course product display that goes on at the show. So that's one way to get involved. There's no real barrier to entry. That's really important. Have a conversation with us. They can contact our office directly at nkba@modenus.com, or reach out to me directly on social media at Modenus everywhere. Is another great way to do that. And then what we do is we field the inquiry and help people either reach the sales team at KBIS, reach the membership team at NKBA, or be able to answer questions. So again, it's as easy as reaching out and telling us where they're at. Because again, like I said at the top, this is not a one-size-fits-all program. We're here to try and help direct them in the best possible way.
Yes, you seem to connect with all of the best brands too. Having Ted Todd here today is an example of that, in connecting with them in London and being able to share that story and bring them to the US market.
Well, and to find them, Robert, you guys will be displaying, it's called Rare Finds, right?
That's correct. Hopefully you'll be super excited when you see what we're going to be doing at your show, because we've worked very, very hard to produce something which hopefully you'll all be, one, excited about, and two, really proud of the fact that you brought that across to North America. So we're showing predominantly rare fine floors. I think we've got about 10 main stories around different floors that we're showing there. And then we're showing them in some different formats, some different designs as well. Like I was saying before, we've got some fantastic wood out of Churchill's War Office in Whitehall. We've also got North Bank, which is a pitch pine that's come out of the docks in Liverpool. This was material that originally came from North America. It would have been in your primeval forest, which up until about 1700 hadn't been touched for probably thousands of years, and by 1900 they'd all been felled and gone. And lots of this material came over to England because we were a great trading partner with North America at the time. And some of these woods are absolutely beautiful. and we carefully restore them and polish them to enable them to be used again in a new project. We've also got some wood that we've sourced across the world. We've got colonial Burmese teak that's come out of colonial houses in Southeast Asia. Again, that's been very carefully restored into some lovely plank floors. Just when you see them, you'll be absolutely astounded. There's just such beautiful floors.
We can't wait to see them.
They bring a depth and warmth to a project that you just really cannot appreciate until you actually feel it for real. And
I have seen it.
That you don't think for a second that to use an antique floor, you need to be necessarily restoring a period building. We're really finding that they work probably just as well, even if not even better, in an environment where they are contrasting a contemporary interior, because it just brings an organic feel to the project that you just don't get with modern man-made materials or most new floors.
I think that's where I'm excited to see them, is that juxtaposition between the contemporary and the antique, and seeing how that plays off of each other.
Yeah, clearly for somebody that is doing a restoration of a period house, they work fantastically. And even if you're building a new period house and you put our floors in, you will, for all intents and purposes, have what would look like the original floors in that project, which is a wonderful way to build new period properties and give them the authenticity that they would get if they were the original period properties. But like I say, from what I saw at the show last year, the general trend is for quite contemporary living, for quite forward-looking and future-looking living. There's a lot of stuff around tech in the home, which is really exciting. But I do think that there's a real requirement for those projects to have something warm and soulful as a contrast to what are predominantly quite hard and cold man-made surfaces. And when you've got the added dimension of a wonderful story that you can tell about where that product has come from, where the floors have come from, it really gives a totally different dimension to your project, because it's very unusual for that to be the case. Normally when people procure items for a home or for a commercial project, they've got no idea about the story to do with anything to do with where the products come from, where the materials have come from, or how it's been made, or who made it. You're just buying something that is solely judged by its cosmetic look and feel. And we really, like I say, it's not just a trend. It's people want to know the stories around lots and lots of things that surround them in their lives, and not just interior things, but lots of other things as well. And it makes actually an interior item into an experience, and not just a product that you're buying. And we've been doing this for 25 years, so we've lived and breathed it, and we love it, and it's what we're very, very passionate about.
So where can we find you at KBIS? Are you in the South Hall, North Hall?
We are South Hall.
You are in the South Hall.
He's like, we're in a hall.
They're right
We're
by
next to the global, your Connect stand.
the KBIS Next Stage.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Is that right, Jenny? We're next to the KBIS Next Stage, I think.
Yeah, it's very near there.
Well,
And
you'll
Mary,
see,
where can
we've made a substantial investment in the most brilliant stand. It just looks fantastic.
Oh, we can't wait to see it.
We're excited.
We can see you all in the South Hall. Mary, we can find you floating the show floor. Are you doing any panels this year?
Not yet, but I do like a good old stomp and a nose around and getting right under the surface of everything. And I'm always looking for that absolute gem that I can then come back and pop in a magazine here in the UK and tell everyone that they need to be buying it right this second before it's sold out.
Awesome. So we can follow you on Hello P Green and see all of your amazing photographs. Veronika, I know you're floating the show floor. You're insane at KBIS, as are Jennifer and I. Well, on behalf of my lovely co-host, I'd like to thank you all for being here today. This was an excellent chat. And how about those accents, right? I'm so jealous. I wish that I had one.
I think you immediately sound not so intelligent, right?
Can I say thank you very much from both Jenny and I for inviting us to participate this afternoon. It's been an absolute delight. And we are really looking forward to seeing you all in Vegas in February. And just one final word, if anybody is listening to this that would like to get involved in the Global Connect, I would really, really recommend the first thing you do is go to the show and actually have a look, because I think you will be quite surprised, and I think you will be put quite at ease as to what you need to do to be involved. And it would be a shame for you to miss out because you don't go and have a look and actually see what the show is all about.
Yeah, and it's never a bad time to go to Vegas. We'll be back with another episode of KBTalks powered by the NKBA in just a couple of weeks. Until then, be sure to send your feedback and topics you would like to learn more about to NKBA at Flying Camel. That's right, flyingcamel.com. Stay tuned for a quick NKBA minute. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Why belong to the NKBA? The NKBA makes you smart. With membership, you get access to exclusive business insight, design trends, technology and consumer behavior, the facts you need to grow your business, and professional development opportunities to keep you on top of your game. We save you money. The cost of your membership is covered many times over by free or discounted passes to KBIS, research studies, and learning opportunities. Your professional profile on our website is a free marketing tool for you to showcase your best work and get discovered by potential clients. We raise your credibility with certification. Only members are eligible to apply for the industry's most trusted hallmarks of expertise, the Certified Kitchen and Bath Designer designation. Certified designers have the potential to earn more and gain confidence among clients and peers. So, come join the Kitchen and Bath Industry Authority. Visit nkba.org to join today.